So if you've been on the internet, you've probably seen people do hip mobility like this. But the question we have to ask ourselves is, what are we actually training? Is this someone who already has good hip mobility like Jessica does, or are we actually building hip mobility? This would be making the assumption that the problem is all in the joint and there's no such thing as connective tissue or a neurological connection to the rest of the body. That'd be like saying, I have a tight shoulder, so let me just keep moving my shoulder into those ranges of motion where it's tight. That's not how actually mobility is improved. So let's go over 3 better strategies to improve your hip mobility based on science. So this probably looks nothing like what you would expect to see in a hip mobility exercise. But if we understand the research tells us, if we get better core stability, we get better distal mobility, especially when we're talking about hips and shoulders. This makes all the sense in the world. So what Jessica has is an extra large perform mini band around one thigh and around the foot. So when she does the dead bug, she's getting isometric strength here from this leg, resisting flexion, and she's creating extension with the load on the other side. So we're getting a push-pull action in the lower body, just much like what would happen if we're walking and running. So we're getting stability in the pelvis from the ground up. Now the ultimate sandbag, by her pulling the handles apart, creating that tension and having load is important here, and doing small diagonal patterns which feed into the natural chains of our body, she's creating core stability from the top down. So a lot of times hip mobility issues are related to lack of core stability, and this is one of the best ways of addressing that right off the bat. So the shin box position is great, except a lot of people can't get into it without huge amounts of discomfort, and that causes our nervous system to put the brakes on even more. So what Jessica's doing here is she's working from the top down, within a smaller range of motion, getting feedback from the super mat and to keep her hips in extension to utilize those glutes and hamstrings, while she's creating a dynamic plank, bracing with the ultimate sandbag, because we already run over that core stability is important. This time, by actively pulling the bag apart and pressing out from the belly button, we teach how to create that core stability as she's doing active mobility. So we can use dynamic movement, but also use it into relaxation with specific breath work to both actively utilize core stability in a different way, and also to take tension away from the muscles that are overactive. So Jessica's going to hold on to medicine ball gently. She's going to be in what we call a bow stance, 1 foot forward, 1 foot slightly turned out. She's going to shift her weight forward. She's going to bring the ball out to my hand. Then she's going to hinge as the weight's more towards her right foot, shift back and kind of make a big circle. So she would exhale as she's coming out. She would inhale, and she's getting dynamic mobility through both hips while she's integrating core stability both through her breath and getting some feedback from the use of the medicine ball. These are smarter ways to take what we know from science and put into practice with your hip mobility exercises.